You have arrived at your destination.
You are now a loyal follower of the Villain District Podcast.
I just dove head first into some life.
I guess you are probably like really addicted to life.
Oh,
That might be true.
I'm
Don't you think?
still alive.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I can't stop living.
Like, yeah.
Yeah,
Not for a second have I done that.
but one day I'm gonna cut this thing.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm gonna kick it.
I'm gonna beat this monkey.
Yeah.
I can't wait to die.
I feel like
good start.
some people are really ready to die, you know, when they get to a certain age and they're like, you know what, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
We're a happy group here
Right. They're like, yeah, they're trying to break the addiction.
of living.
They're ready. Yeah. They're ready. That's right.
It's funny. I actually had that exact same conversation just like 2 days ago
What?
about how weird it would feel to be like just totally ready. Like just let's
Yeah.
go.
All right,
That's
Let's go.
kind of my point.
Because I don't feel that way at all.
No.
Well, I mean, on the contrary, though, I don't ever find myself in a moment where I'm like, I am just really into hanging on right now. Like,
Oh, right.
I mean, not to say that I'm like I'm not
It's like,
into life.
that's really sad.
I put that wrong, but like on
Right.
one hand, where you're
Put it
like,
right, Kenton. Put it right.
I will make my words correct. On one hand, where you're like, I am totally ready to go, and I hate life. See, I can't make this sound like
Well,
I'm not a depressed
this is
person.
great.
My brain.
It's good. It's a good start.
Well,
I like it. It's upbeat.
well, that was good. That was fun.
Yeah, good intro.
I feel like on like whenever you've made accomplishments, you know, especially in the recent past, like I've felt more, you know, connected with life when you know, like he started making T-shirts. There's
Right.
one of them right here.
Yeah.
See, now I feel
Awesome
like you're trying to
design.
build me up like I actually am suicidal.
I'm not.
Good
I'm
job,
not trying
man.
to build you up because I think that. I'm trying to build you up because I feel like it's legitimate, man. Like you're
Totally
really doing some
joking.
awesome stuff.
Well, thanks, cuz.
Yeah,
That is-
I've seen.
feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
terrible.
guess. Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
I don't even know who you are.
I think when Raina was on last time, we had that conversation where one day I just saw Kenton posting these things that he made, and I'm like, "What is this?
Oh, yeah.
Where'd this come from?
What is this
Old
guy
sleeper
doing?
agent over there?
That's right.
You're just sleeping all the time."
I am. Yeah.
More like
Most of the time.
sleepwalkering.
Oh,
Throwback.
That's so
throwback
right.
to your old
That's right.
the
It's
band
pretty
you
good.
joined after you tried to sabotage our band.
Hey, no.
So
Yeah.
I was actually doing what I thought was the most punk thing I could do, which was go skateboarding during band practice.
Right.
You guys should have praised me as
Right.
the leader of punk rock.
Well, I mean, as I told you when we had this conversation the other day, what's even more punk rock is responsibility and dedication.
Staying in school.
Staying in, working your hardest.
actually,
That's the most punk rock.
I think what was that like
Band-Aids.
2002 or something,
Yeah, most.
2001 or so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that was about the time where like, you know, punk rock had to be something else. You know, it had
Yeah.
to start to change into like,
I should have just put on some tight pants, and you guys would have been like,
right.
yeah.
You'd have been a
This
visionary.
guy.
No, we weren't there yet.
No.
no.
I remember,
It was baggy
I was
pants at
trailblazing.
those days.
Yeah.
wasn't it?
It was.
baggy pants and Dickies.
That's right.
Mhm.
Dickies and oversized, what was it, Billabong shirts or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Bigger the better.
Those were the days.
Yeah.
Dickies, Vans, and tube socks.
Buying T-shirts of companies
Tube socks.
whose products I
Yeah,
never
tube
used.
socks.
Yeah,
Because I
exactly.
didn't skateboard.
I didn't even,
I'd say tube
I don't
socks are
surf.
still kind of cool.
I think
I'm
they're
okay
really
with tube
cool.
socks.
Yeah.
I like tube socks. They're comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like a good tube every now and then.
Argyle, you know. Whatever.
Although I have some socks that I bought for $1 that have polar bears on them, and I think those are my favorite socks right now.
I'm actually
It's
really
not terribly cool, but
I'm really into these socks from Walmart that are made for little kids that have like Star
Okay.
Wars on them
Good.
and Spider-Man. Those are super cool.
Yeah.
do they? You can find little kids socks that work for you.
I'm totally wearing them right now.
Okay, all right,
They're sweet.
that's pretty good. I'll have to try that out.
They got a stormtrooper on them.
They got a good stretch to them.
They do,
Yeah.
totally. And
Nice.
when they get wet, it's like you're barefoot, so it's good.
what kind of fabric is that? Like cotton?
I'm sure they
Wool?
weren't trying to work that into the game plan, but
Those-
Right.
just to let you know,
Yeah, just so you know.
Walmart sock people, your socks are so cheaply thin that feels like you're wearing nothing.
Sure.
Are we gonna do an intro to this, or probably not, right?
Probably not.
Like typically, what we'll do is we'll have the conversation, and then we'll like record an intro
And
later.
then we'll jump back.
But then it's like time to like upload the episode, and I'm like sitting there. I'm like, okay, got to
Just
record an
do-
intro. And normally the intro sounds like this.
That's
That's pretty accurate.
And
That's a good impression of
Just
yourself.
just cut that out. And
so
put it in the
instead, let's and so I don't have to do that. Let's talk about who's here.
Yeah, who's here? If you can't see what's going on because you're listening in the future.
Raina's here. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay.
Doing great.
For those of you who listened 2 episodes ago, if you listen to that and you don't recognize that she was on that episode and only her, then this is a severe issue.
What's
The
happening?
issue is
What is wrong?
it's like
You were really not paying attention.
Maybe you didn't even listen to it, and you're just saying you did.
Yeah. Don't try to impress us.
yeah, and the
Listeners.
guy the guy that we spoke so poorly of was
Right.
Kenton, and
Right.
he's the one with the
I was
the
hoping.
children. He's wearing children's clothes,
Yep.
and he's a band quitter.
I'm a grown man.
He's also wearing my shoes.
Yeah.
So
Oh, is that what?
That's like the best description of me I think could ever be laid out. I think if I had to give a speech somewhere, I would want you to come out and just be like, band quitter, wears children's clothes, may or may not have peed his pants.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
ate an entire pound of butter sandwich.
Oh, yeah, it did that.
I was
A
there
pound?
for
For
Butter
that.
sandwich?
It's like 4 sticks of butter.
It
Entire.
was
Wow.
terrible.
You
And
ate
then
that?
I stayed up that night. I think I was like 22 maybe,
Good
hoping
age.
that I did
Good
not
age.
have a heart attack. I don't know what 22-year-old is laying in bed at night just going, dear
Yeah.
God, don't let me have a heart attack right now.
Especially a really skinny 22-year-old. Yeah.
If
From
I would-
butter intake.
I mean, at least if I would have went out that way, that would have been laughable.
Well, yeah.
You wouldn't have cared.
Right. You were ready.
I was
You were
ready
ready to go.
I was ready. $5, I'm good.
You were ready.
I wouldn't have even been able to spend it.
Call back.
Yep.
And
Raina's
then we've
here.
got
No.
the man of many names. We were having this conversation the other day.
Oh, that's true.
I heard some of that conversation. I think. I
Can
just,
you take us through your names?
the whole thing?
Because I
whole
think
thing.
some
Lord
yeah,
Pennyworth.
some people call you one thing, other people call you another thing,
Yeah.
and like you walk into like a room and like whenever people are calling you different, like you have to pick one. And
I've over the years I've decided not to pick one and just let people do what they may.
Okay.
I can give you the whole breakdown. Maple, Kindler, David, Carnifex, Needler is my whole name. And Maple, if you want the whole story, I was born on a mountain, and there was like a blizzard going on at the time I was born, and so they would cut the maple trees to collect sap to make maple syrup. And when it was really cold, like the trees produce a lot of sap apparently. So my father went out all Native American style and saw this going on, and he was like, "Your name's going to be Maple." And I just
You just
sat there.
accepted
and yeah, wasn't much I could do.
Yeah.
I was so hoping that you were going to be like, and my dad went out and he pulled a baby out of the tree, and it was me.
and there's this little maple child.
I actually sprang from a tree. Yeah.
what if you
That's where they
picked
found
sap
me.
instead?
It was like the Lorax. They cut down this maple tree, and
Yeah.
I just
So you
Yeah.
you speak for the trees then.
absolutely
Right. Yeah.
I would say that.
Nice.
A solid story. So I mean,
David's my middle name, and I went by that between like middle school and high school because
Yeah.
I didn't want to be weird.
Right.
I felt like my first name was a little too intense for people
Right.
in small town Monticello where
Sure.
we grew up.
right? It's a wild place.
They ran when they heard his name.
Yeah.
They were like,
That's
who
not
ran?
so surprising. Who
ran?
in Monticello?
Who?
Your name is what?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up on the other side of that. My name has been and always will be Joe.
Joey.
Same.
Well, that's not
Joe.
I mean, yes, that's true,
That's
but you
not
also
really
have an
true.
interesting name.
Yeah, my middle name is James.
Right.
Joe James.
That's what I'm talking
No.
about.
Joe James. That's
Yeah.
really good.
I do have a weird middle name.
Yeah.
It's Aristides.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Joseph James Aristides Stockton.
I like it.
That's right.
See, you
Thanks.
could have went
I made
either
it-
the way of High School Bully with Joe James, or the way you went with Aristides.
Whatever, you guys are
Right.
freaks.
But just imagine if Aristides had been your first name, and that was like
Right.
what you were
Right.
announced as.
Yeah.
through growing
Well,
up.
it's my grandpa's name, and he actually goes by Art. So he made it work. You know?
He found a way.
Do you think if he was an artist, that would be really pretentious?
I am art.
Art by art.
I'm Art.
I am literally art.
Seriously, though. My name's Art.
That's pretty clever, right?
That is, yeah. It's a good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's
It's not
good.
bad.
So, what do you all do? Why are you here? Why are you here on the
well,
podcast?
I don't know. I'm actually going to leave. So
Okay.
The,
All right.
the door was
I didn't want to
open
say it
and we-
explicitly, so I'm glad you picked it up.
yeah.
Well, actually, before you guys got here, I was hanging out with another guy that works in the building. His name's also Joe. He's a grip. And he said, do you want me to lock the door? I said, no, thanks. And that's... and the
that's
door
how
was
we
open
got
for
here.
you.
Oh, and so that's why they're here.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
see. I got
get
you.
it.
Wait. What's his response? Something like, "Get a grip."
That's so weird. How'd you know? He said that.
All right, I'm
And
really
you were
leaving
like-
now.
Oh, we're plummeting here.
No, this is good. I love it.
Best
I love it.
episode.
No, so we wanted to have you all on to talk about a project that you're doing.
Bing, bing.
Yeah. Because we talked about it a little bit. We gestured toward it last time.
Right.
Verbally, not real gestures. Because that doesn't work on a podcast.
There was a jester here.
There was a jester. Yeah, talking about it. And
Oh, Greg?
yeah,
Yeah.
Greg the jester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a weird kid.
He just dances in and then.
So we didn't want to. Raina was talking about her projects and stuff, and we didn't want to talk about this project without having you all here because we didn't want to misrepresent it. basically.
I
Not
was
include us.
fine with. I was ready to go.
You were
dive
ready to
in, but-
misrepresent
But
it.
Raina was like,
Yeah.
"No,
And I was like,
you guys heard it.
yeah,
They heard it
exactly.
They totally
But
heard it.
I mean, I'm not sure though because they're confused about you.
Right? Yeah. They said they didn't
Right?
even remember that you were here 2 episodes ago.
Isn't
the
that what they?
listeners.
Is that what they said?
Who
Or
would?
I never said that.
Who
I
would?
totally listened to
That's
it.
what was said.
There you go.
I think that's definitely what was said.
So tell us about your.
I'm sorry.
Tell us about your animation project that's
Um,
going on that we talked about a little bit before.
Well, it's called Haptic Ultra, and it's
what does that mean?
high percent.
He doesn't even know.
Strong interview styles
It's
from Aristides.
hypersensitive touch.
Oh.
So hypersensitive feeling in all your senses. But the show is
So it's like a
actually
metaphor.
yeah,
But it's also
for
like,
touching yourself.
yeah.
Oh.
No, it's also.
Get it?
I figured.
Yeah.
All right, so
But
it's
in,
called.
but in a larger sense.
So it's called Haptic Ultra.
Yeah, and it's about a guy and his 2 roommates, and they bumble into some time travel adventures through way of their time machine bathtub that runs on vegan mayonnaise.
Sure,
And
One of
they,
those.
one of those things.
they set off to change the world from being the way it is, with cell phones and technology being very prominent in keeping people detached from each other. So they go to stop the Industrial Revolution in hopes that this will clean the whole mess up. And there's a villain named Professor Ultimatum who's half teddy bear, half person through way of a childhood explosion, house fire. And he's kind of doing the opposite of what they're trying to do, which is he's installed these devices in your cell phones and laptops and everything to make people his drones and kind of push toward this future of control and evil teddy bear stuff.
Right.
You know?
Nice.
That old story.
That yeah.
It's super
Hero of 1,000 faces. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea is super relevant. I mean, I was just thinking today. I was essentially I was mixing a bunch of tracks, and then I was exporting them. And the export only took a minute or two each track. So I'd go through, I'd export it. As soon as I hit export, I'd reach for my phone.
Yeah.
I'd unlock it, and I'd just start digging through stuff.
Right.
I don't know what I was looking at. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I was looking at.
I was
But-
even telling Raina the other day, I walked through campus and I counted for some reason the amount of people that were just staring at their phones, like totally head down, walking forward with no idea of what was in front of them, and it was like 25 people from like Eastern Parkway to Cardinal Boulevard.
Yeah.
Which
Wow.
isn't even a big distance. And I was like,
Yeah, it's strange because like I've found that my memory has gotten worse. My ability to kind of recall, I don't know, like
I used to remember phone numbers a lot.
right.
I used to remember a lot
So
of
like,
people's
I mean,
phones.
well, you don't even have to anymore.
Yeah.
So
that's the
No
thing.
need.
I mean, so like I'll look at something. Oh, I need to write that, or I need to remember that. So I'm like, okay, well, I read it, and then I go into like, I don't know, type it or something, and then I have to go back and then back and forth just because like my brain isn't taking that information, and I think it's because we carry our ability to recall information
Right.
in our pockets, right?
yeah.
So
We're part of the Borg now.
Yeah.
right.
We're also getting older.
True.
But and
True.
my thought is that's true.
not it.
I'm still sharp as a tack.
That's not it at all. It's the
Hey.
phones.
Right. But I mean, but think about it. Like, 10 years ago when you were walking, so you were walking to class, what do? You either listen to your jams or you
Right.
think about stuff.
right.
Well, now instead of thinking, you use your digital brain, and the thinking is done as on Facebook in real time, but you're reading other people's thoughts.
See, not to get too super nerdy,
Yeah.
but there's a philosopher named David Chalmers who has a theory or a thesis called the extended mind thesis. And he wants to say that things like your phone should be understood as a part of your mind because you've like externalized your memory.
Yeah.
So like
That's so true.
I just put some stuff in my
I'm a
phone because
genius.
I didn't want to remember it tomorrow, and now I don't have to because my phone remembers it. So
Yeah.
it's still part of my memory. It's technically part of my mind, he would say. But
It's like an
I don't know if
external,
that's true.
external hard drive for your
So
for
it's
your
like
memory.
your junk
Yeah.
mind,
Exactly.
where you put all your junk.
Yeah. It's like a
Siri
garbage.
is a part of me.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what this half teddy bear is after. Right?
Yeah, that's
This
the only
evil.
part
Total
that
world
like
domination.
doesn't really like fit with my my.
Wait, what?
I know. I think I know what you mean.
My.
I think I know what you mean. What is Professor Ultimatum's motive for wanting to
Oh,
destroy
well,
things
Oh, that's
and
a
make
good
things
question. Yeah.
more?
That's not what I was.
I
Going
guess
at, but
it was-
that's better.
I guess.
I was
Thanks.
just saying, like, I wonder why he's half of a teddy bear.
Oh, I see.
Oh, that's
I
one of the
see.
mysteries of the show. I think.
Ooh,
Yeah, well, we're gonna have an
Yeah, no spoilers.
Origins episode for the professor.
That'll
But
be like season 3
It
or
was
something.
terrible,
It was terrible. Okay. Right.
really bad.
sounds pretty bad.
So
Intense.
what brings his love of extended mind and technology overtaking us, or is that spoilery?
Well, he through the way of his origins, how he became the teddy bear, he had to make the ultimate decision between remaining a child or becoming this evil genius because he was so scarred and he knew people would mock him. So he said that he would just control people basically and force them into being around him in the form that he was in.
So it's
Nice.
kind of a response to childhood trauma. You're saying
Yes.
that makes
I
sense.
like it.
yeah, I like it too.
I like it. So Maple, what is your role in this? Kenton's come up with a lot of these crazy world. Right?
Yeah, I can give you kind of a more like a timeline breakdown of how things came together.
Totally.
Kenton was out in Colorado like a couple years before I was, and then at the end of 2014, right after Christmas, I went out there with my brother, and we stayed with them for like a week, and got a place and had a crazy year, like an entire year out there. And then toward the end of that year, Kenton was coming back, and I introduced him to some friends here in Louisville, and he immediately started pitching this idea for our Haptic Ultra, which at the time I don't think had the name yet.
No, it didn't. I literally thought of it when I pitched it.
Well, we had some conversations. Like you had
Yeah.
Ultra was already a part of it, and you were like, "What can we add to this?" And we had a few ideas, and I was like, "Well, haptic means this,"
Yeah.
and he was like, "That's perfect."
Yeah.
And so, but that came together really cool, and I was still out in Colorado, and we did some like FaceTime conversations, and then they incorporated this guy, Joseph Najai, who lives in Indiana, who's an animator, and we did like a FaceTime or some kind of chat with him, and then I did some auditions. That was around the same time that I met Raina, at least digitally, and we did some like auditions back and forth with her and Kenton and Blake I guess that was and me. That was the whole group of us working on them. And then in January, I came back specifically so we could do a bunch of recordings, and I did like 5 voices.
Yeah, in like 2 days.
And it was awesome. It was a really fun process, and Blake McGrew's an awesome dude who has a bunch of equipment like to do that kinds of stuff. So
Cool.
we put as much together as we could. We got almost all the voices recorded then, and like at least created at least 1 or 2 more.
Yeah.
Jedediah.
We nailed out pretty much everything for the pilot episode in those little first few weeks. It's come together ridiculously fast, I feel like.
Nice. But the idea's been there for quite a while? Or?
I think it was kind of like a spark of inspiration when he got back to Louisville.
Yeah, gotcha. I had a small idea about something to do with time travel, and I was like, I need to incorporate time travel somehow into this story, and then once I got back here, it just kind of came together.
And I think a lot of the artwork I saw him working on in Colorado has kind of developed into some of the ideas that he's working on with the animated series too.
Yeah. Nice. That's cool. So what were you doing artistically before you were working on this idea? Like, because I know you're making shirts, you're doing other things too, right?
Yeah, pretty much for a long time I was just painting just to be painting, and just had stockpiled a bunch of artwork in the house and everywhere that I kind of moved around to. But once I got back from Colorado, I had been working on kind of focusing my artwork towards just like heavy ink, black and white images. Like my inspiration is usually like old school comics and those noir comics of like detectives and stuff that use like heavy black shading and everything. So I had kind of moved towards that style and then came up with the cartoon out of that, and I've kind of been trying to mold that in the way that the animations are made to look really similar, which is coming out really nicely, I think.
Cool. That's awesome. So what about you, Maple? Tell us about your artistic...
Wait, are we talking to
Thanks.
Maple or David or who?
I prefer to go by Maple most of the time.
Okay, I call you Maple because we sort of lost touch a little bit whenever you started going by David, so I wasn't around for that as much.
Yeah,
Right?
right after middle school is when I moved up to the Louisville area also, so I was kind of disconnected from a lot of people. And then how many years later was it when everybody from Monticello, who was like around my age and a couple of years younger, started coming up to go to U of L and other schools in the area, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, I'm glad you're still going by
Thanks.
Maple.
Yeah. I went by David through like middle school and high school, and then I think around high school, college time, there were just a bunch of people named David, and they were like, "Do you have another name that we could call you?"
No, I have no other name.
That must be awful for just Davids who have to be like, no, there's no option. You just got to make it work.
I wonder if
It was
that's
convenient.
something that happens a lot, though. Kids just mob up to people and they're like, I don't like your name. Is there anything else we can call you?
Your name is
another.
becoming a problem.
And you'd wind up not having a middle name, so they're just like, all right, Poop Dick, that's your name. Like,
Which
You're
is
getting a nickname.
Which is
Forever.
first choice. I mean,
Yeah,
if
I
you got to
mean,
make a move from David, you
mob
go
of-
right to Boop
mob
Dick.
of children.
Yeah.
What else are they going to do?
Yeah, no other option really. So,
Clear
clear
segue.
But what's your artistic stuff? Because I know you do stuff as well.
Yeah, I've been playing music kind of for a long time, so I dabble in that still. And but what I've really been spending a lot of time doing photography recently.
Yeah.
So I mean that's kind of my main pursuit right now. I've been thinking about investing more in that and kind of taking as many pictures as I can, releasing them slowly so there's like visibility, but kind of developing how to edit photos and manual settings on cameras and all that kind of stuff.
Totally.
But I'm sure anybody who is interested in photography kind of knows what that process is like a little bit. But it's, I don't know, I got to a point where I really enjoyed the pictures I could get on like a smartphone. And then, was talking to all these people who were like, dude, you got to get a real camera and then you can progress and get, the quality of the imagery is just so much higher. And so I got kind of an entry level camera and it is, it's amazingly better, but I get to, you get to a certain point with anything and you're like, now I want to spend,
Yeah.
a bunch of money on some ridiculous crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That never stops.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Never ever stops. It's bad.
Yeah, I remember doing that with guitars, being like, "Oh, I'll spend $200 and that'll do it." See, I always fooled myself. I was like, "Oh, that'll be good enough."
This next one, that'll be it.
This one's the last one.
This one
This
is
will be the last
two
one.
choice to move on from.
This will be the one I have when I'm dying. Like it'll be like
They'll lay it in with me.
I'll be like, yeah, this PV.
It's almost like they just keep making better technology
pink heart
every
shape.
year
I know.
just to get us to spend more money.
I know it's weird.
It's almost like that.
Thanks,
Seems like
Obama.
Oh man.
Damn it.
I call him President Technology. That's what I call him. When we have coffee,
That's a good name.
he's fine with it.
Change.
But here's the thing: it's genius,
Constant
and I'll
change.
tell you why. Because they've made it to where our brains are an extension of our devices, and our
Vice versa
specific.
also.
I love how you fully embrace this notion.
Yeah,
Keep going.
and our devices, for the most part, a lot of times are Apple devices. Right, the iPhone is like probably the most popular phone of all time.
Well, unless you count the Moto G.
Right. Well, the Moto G too. But
I have a razor.
because here's the crazy thing, is that Apple, Mac, whatever you want to call them, their brand loyalty is so strong that they can release a new like $600 phone like every year, and if 10% of the users upgrade every year, they're making like bank.
Yeah,
They're like,
You need to get a sponsorship, I think.
that's right.
Is that what you're trying to do right now?
Yeah.
it's crazy.
This is an ad.
Come on, Timmy.
Like,
He brought
Give us
us
some
on
free
here
stuff.
to do an
Loop it
ad.
That's
in.
right. Once again, not to get too nerdy, but there was a study done a couple of years ago where if you show Apple users the Apple symbol, you get the same brain reaction as religious
Yeah.
people who you show like a religious symbol.
I
to.
believe it because
Yeah.
like, and anytime you buy a new Apple product and you're like a big time Apple user, like you could smell it. Like when you open the package, it's just like
The new plastic
the
smell.
new plastic smell, and you're like, oh, that's
like
part of that's my
The
that's
smell
my
of a
brain.
silicone chip
That's
inside
my
of it.
brain.
It's like
I get that when I open up like a
LCDs
new
and-
flavor of Oreo. I'm like, oh yeah.
Is that why like those? What are those things called where they have videos of people opening new stuff? Have you seen those?
Have you seen? Have you seen
Unboxing,
the?
yeah.
Unboxing videos, yeah.
Well, have you seen the cooking show where the dude literally goes and he'll buy like store bought cheese? in
Weber
a can,
Cooks.
Weber Cooks,
No.
and he'll be like, "This is how you make nachos." And he'll just put a can of chili and a can of cheese in the microwave.
It's
pour
honestly
it together,
amazing.
and he's like, "That's nachos."
That's really nice.
I'm like, but you didn't even make nachos. You just made dip.
You just That's
chips.
right.
With canned
Yeah.
chili.
That's right.
Weber.
I got. Speaking of technology and all that Apple stuff, I got mad at myself the other day because I just, for the first time, thought that the Apple Watch looked really, really cool when I saw it.
I
I
mean-
started out being like, no, I don't like it. I'm not really. I mean, it's fine,
It
but
just
like, I don't
doesn't
want
make
one.
any sense.
And
it's
then-
just a thing that
Well,
runs
my-
on your phone.
Yeah,
See,
it's
my
a phone
thought
extension.
is-
It's
Yeah,
it's so much like the Dick Tracy watch.
that's true.
it really is.
True.
Like you can do so many
That's
things
the
like
only
you could
thing
do with the
that
Dick
pulls
Tracy
me
watch.
into that. I want to be able to be
I'm
like,
on my way. Yeah,
Yeah.
but the little antenna won't come out.
it's
so
prune
Right.
face down at
Forget
the
it.
docks.
Yeah, well, like if you don't have an antenna, what do you have?
Forget it.
That's when Madonna was
Nothing.
really hitting her stride.
That's
I feel like.
That's right.
All we have to do is wait for the
right.
steampunk version of the Apple Watch to come out. Mm-hmm. And we're set.
Wait, what? The
All you need is a
steampunk?
steampunk
Yeah, because
case
that'll,
for the
of
Apple
course,
Watch.
that'll have an antenna.
Okay,
Or
yeah.
some kind
Like
of
a-
Something. Yeah.
Ham radio built
Steampunk
into
is
it.
so
That'd be
cool, right?
sweet.
The kids are still doing
Yeah.
that.
Kids
right?
love steampunk nowadays. The kids are loving it.
Yeah.
It's a whole niche.
Actually, I think it's like a middle-aged
I think it's a
thing.
middle-aged thing, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I've seen.
Damn, it never caught on. But
Yeah.
It's a certain
Yeah.
generational.
That is strange, though. It is like
Yeah, it's
anytime
generational
like
for sure.
I see like an event that is steampunk, it's like
Yeah.
40, 50 year
40s,
old.
50s, yeah.
It's like Renaissance
strange.
fairs.
I
It's
can't
a
even
specific
track it
age group.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just try
Exactly.
to stick with the normal trends, like wearing pants.
Yeah. That's got
You,
some
wait,
longevity.
you attempt
Right.
to stick with the trend of wearing pants, is what you're saying?
That's, yeah.
and fail
I
sometimes?
do have this. I've had this ongoing fear.
Sometimes it doesn't work.
since childhood that somehow my penis would just be out in public.
I think everyone has
I don't
that
know
fear.
how.
I
I
always
think
have that
everyone
fear.
has that. Yeah, Raina has that fear.
I have this memory of this
terrifying.
dream / thing that might have actually happened where I went to school and I was just wearing like sweatshirt top and didn't have any shorts on.
As
Yeah.
you do.
Right.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
you're trying to, like you're
Like a
pulling
giant
it down
Alvin's
and you're
and
like,
shit.
Just like I
we
have
could-
shorts on. Just don't stop.
don't-
Just
yeah.
leave me
Yeah.
alone. I have short
Yeah.
shorts. They're just short shorts.
They're pretty
Yeah.
short.
Was it like
I'm
a
just
big
hip,
Alvin
alright,
and the
guys.
Chipmunks shirt? Like,
I wish that would have been sweet.
Oh, that would have
Oh,
been good.
dude, with the
Yeah.
big A.
It goes all the way down to my ankles.
That's right.
Yeah.
Then
Be
you'd have
like
been
it's
fine.
not. It's not a dress. It's an Alvin.
where do you
That's
get
right.
those at? Like, where?
The Alvin costume?
It's not
I
a
don't
dress.
know.
I'm just a chipmunk, and my body
right?
is weirdly shaped.
And probably at the
You
Big and
don't
Tall
wanna see
Chipmunk
this.
store.
Yeah,
I would
big and
imagine.
tall chipmunks. Yeah, for sure. I feel like Alvin, though, does his go all the way down? Or does he just rock
Yeah,
no
dude.
pants?
I think it goes down way
I
far.
think
Go all the way
you're
down?
thinking of
and Simon
Theodore.
too.
you're
I'm-
thinking of
Every
Rescue
other-
Rangers.
Wait,
Oh, right.
Chippendale?
Maybe I am. Yeah, Chippendale.
did have
yeah.
just
Yeah.
shirts.
Okay.
isn't
They're
Theodore the
totally-
one who has the huge one?
I thought
huge-
they all had.
I don't
I
know.
think they all
What are
did, yeah.
you?
I'm gonna look it up on my Apple phone.
I've heard
Theodore just
stories.
had the green one. I
Thank
think they
you,
all went
Steve
down like
Jobs.
to their ankles though. Theodore was
Yeah.
shorter. But
Yeah,
he had- I think
he's a short guy.
Can I just mention this is totally off topic?
Well, we like to stay on
Coming
topic
in?
here.
I know. I'm
Coming-
gonna.
what do
I'm
you-
gonna
don't
What do you
screw it
mean
up.
off topic?
It's been so focused so
Yeah,
far.
we're very focused
I'm
here.
gonna shoot it into far left right now.
Okay.
Do you remember that time James Bell peed his pants, and he was in the office, and he was on the
He
telephone?
pooped his pants.
He pooped his pants.
James has been on the
James
show
has been
a couple times.
Was this talked about?
Maybe, but
I'm not
so
sure.
he
I just remember
soiled himself.
Well, the way that Will told this story, I remember from a long time ago, was the funniest thing because he was in the office.
And he's trying to be cool
and he was
and
trying
chill.
to be
and-
cool about
Yeah,
it.
right.
And he's calling his mom. He's like,
Because he's in the office because he's like yeah, I'm sick. I need to go home.
Right.
But he soiled himself. Right.
Right.
I mean, we've all
keep it
been
And
there.
so
We've all, I mean,
you know,
I went home sick
Well,
when I
you
did that
did-
one time, so I just got to go home.
no, didn't.
I didn't have to tell anybody.
So
There-
James is
yeah.
calling his mom, and he's like, Mom, I pooped my pants. What? James, you're gonna have to speak up. Mom, I pooped my pants. What are you? Mom, I pooped my pants.
Just screams it.
I
in the
crap
office.
myself, Mom.
And everybody in the office is like,
See,
He's like, we knew. They knew.
we know. Come on,
We
come on.
smelled
Seriously,
it.
we're all here.
Do you think
But
at the
wasn't-
time that he had the presence of mind to be like, this is going to be
Hilarious.
a hilarious part of a movie someday?
See,
Yeah.
yeah,
well,
I
this
don't
will
know.
be definitely talked about
Yeah.
way down the road.
Sure.
By
This-
whoever I tell
This
it
is
to.
podcast fodder for sure.
Wasn't there
even though I
someone
don't know what
that
that
pooped their
is.
pants and then they just chilled with it? Like, all
I
day?
probably would have done that.
No, I chilled until I got picked up. So I mean, but that's not really chilling.
That
that's
might
like
be what I was
I'm
thinking.
chilling
the
right
problem.
now.
The problem. Let me tell you, the problem James had in his experience was being honest with his mother. He should have called his mother and said,
I'm
"I'm
sick."
sick." Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what you say. Because I mean, maybe you are.
My leg
you
just
pooped
got
yourself.
cut off.
Yeah.
That's a legitimate thing.
I one time in kindergarten, I was wearing parachute pants and I peed those.
Okay, that's not absorbent, right?
Dude, I
Did it
had,
just like stay
just-
inside like a?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Is it tight at the ankles? Just
well,
like a water balloon?
No, that's
just hold it
Is
in.
that what parachute pants are?
Just hold it in
I don't
at
even
the
know.
bottom. Like,
I guess.
What's
I don't-
parachute pants?
They're just
You know what parachute
MC
pants
Hammer.
are.
I don't. That's why I asked.
They were cool. They were all swishy.
Yeah, I knew they were swishy.
Mine
MC
were
Hammer.
like,
Come on now.
they had tiny
Yeah.
little checkers on them.
Okay.
But I
Stop.
also
Hammer time.
that reminds me of that YouTube video of 10 years ago where the lady is stomping grapes and she goes, "Stop." Stop.
No idea what's going on.
Can I just ask someone else, what is that noise? Like, has anyone ever made that noise when
No,
they're about to
I
fall
think
down?
No,
she
no,
punctured
she-
her
she-
lung.
Yeah, I think she
I don't
did.
think it was good. I always feel bad about laughing at that. I feel like she punctured her lung.
She's fine
She's
now.
somewhere-
She's totally
I don't
dead.
know.
She's
Dude,
somewhere dead
surely
now.
she's rich.
She's a YouTube sensation.
yeah,
huh?
she's a sensation. She probably has an album out at this point.
Yeah, once I had a dream. I think it was at my grandparents' house, and I don't know if I ever told my mom this, but I was at my grandparents' house down in Tennessee, and
Were you not allowed to be at your grandparents' house?
no, but the dream was
Never
I
told his
woke
mom.
up. I woke up and I walked into the kitchen and I just peed all over the floor.
Right.
That was the dream. To this day, I'm not sure if I
Yeah.
did
Really
that or
happened?
not.
Yeah.
I feel like I might have.
I remember when being really young, like 3 years old, and like sleepwalking a little bit and waking up like just in the middle of the living room and being like, oh, what am I doing? And I think I was probably like starting to wake up, and my brain was like, "It's time to get some food or go to the bathroom."
Right.
Pull yourself together,
Right.
Maple, because you were going by Maple at that point.
Right.
He was 3.
Yeah, I talked to myself in the
That was
third person.
pre-David days.
Sometimes in the multiple third person.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? To
Maple
myself,
David.
though.
Yeah.
That's right.
Um,
And I'm glad we covered peeing ourselves. That was on the
Solid.
agenda, and I was going to have to force it.
Well, I got a checklist over here. I'm just going
Good.
down the
Here,
line.
Yeah.
We're being recorded. I might as well just share a fun story about Will.
Good.
The listeners will enjoy this. You guys
Everybody
will
will
enjoy
enjoy it.
this. You
It'll be
guys
great.
know Will.
It'll be great.
And the best part about this is we were like juniors in high school.
Oh, good.
So
I have no idea.
we used to be able to go out for lunch.
Oh, snap. I
And,
remember that.
It was
I
awesome.
remember
And
those days.
Will and
Wait,
James and I.
Let's set it up even better. I think it was the year. There was one year where we got the period after lunch off somehow. Was this when that was, or was this just regular going out?
It might have been. It was
'Cause
probably that.
We had like
We
two
just
and a
had
half hours. in the
2 hour
middle of
lunch.
the
Yeah.
day. Yeah. It was good.
So we would go out to lunch and we'd eat stuff or whatever, and then we'd come back and then we'd have home ec. And home ec, it was me and Will and James.
I think I know this.
And our teacher at the time for home ec was Miss Jane Dalton.
Ah,
Hey, Miss Dalton, what's up?
Yep.
beautiful.
Regular listener.
And we used to have a good time. And James and I came. Well, I don't think James could leave for lunch because he probably missed too many days of school.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
What a
I don't-
renegade.
No,
I think
he
that
did.
sounds right.
He
He didn't
did.
go
He
with
couldn't
us,
leave.
and there's no other reason. So.
Yeah. So we come back and Will's not there. And Will's like, "Hey, tell Miss Dalton I got a tummy ache. I'm not coming back to school today." Right?
A tummy ache.
He had a tummy ache.
I had a
And
tummy
he's-
ache.
I got
That's a
tummy
legitimate
ache.
excuse.
Yeah.
Tell
Yeah,
Miss
it's fine.
Dalton I got a tummy ache.
And you know what she said to me in front of the whole class? You tell Will he's a pusswad. And I'll never forget that.
That
my
is
God.
a quality South Central Kentucky education.
But did you relay the message?
Yeah,
oh
I did.
yeah, a number of times.
I called him a
Hey,
pusswad for
pusswad.
like 2 years. Yeah, after that.
Still hasn't lived it down.
I had never heard the term prior to that.
I still don't know. I don't know that I've heard it other than just that story.
No, that's
I
the only
heard
time
people say that.
That's it.
I can't even think
It's
of
not
what
a-
that would be without being
Vulgar.
in a zone.
Yeah,
of
I-
discussing.
Right.
I can't think of what that would be without saying. I definitely shouldn't say it if I was teaching a class at a high school. But
No, well, it's like a puss is like a sissy, and
Yeah.
a wad is like a
just a
dip,
small-
dipwad,
small
whatever.
ball
I'm
of things.
thinking in a
Sure,
totally
let's
different region.
think of it that way. Yeah.
let's do that.
Yeah, I was thinking of
No.
something
So
weird.
Will,
It definitely sounds like an
He's a
insult that,
pusswad.
that a teacher shouldn't be calling
Probably.
a student. I mean,
Yeah.
in front of the class. But you weren't
Right.
there, so
Right.
I mean, maybe
well,
the
should,
maybe it's
shouldn't,
fine.
whatever. I mean, I'm still enjoying that. You know what I mean? Like that was a gift for me.
That's right.
I suppose.
I think
yeah,
I'm going to put that
that's
one
true.
into my regular
She taught me
vocabulary.
how to make
you
an
should.
omelet too. That's like
Really?
Quality.
I
That's
carry
good.
that.
Oh,
To
you
the
She
know
was
that,
just.
yeah.
She was probably just really, feeling it that you were missing out on the quality
That's right.
the omelet.
cooking
Yeah.
education.
That's probably what it was. I still can't make breakfast. I missed that day.
I don't.
See,
You had a tummy
you
ache.
puss what?
I had a tummy ache.
I
I
don't-
didn't want to go back to school.
I don't remember us doing a single thing in that class.
No, I don't.
I don't
I remember
remember-
playing paper football.
Yeah, but
Did you learn to
in
make
Tech
omelets?
Deck, we used
Oh,
to.
yeah.
I don't think we did anything.
No, I don't think we did.
No.
I don't recall doing anything.
No, I don't. I recall sitting there.
It's probably just our brains. though,
Sometimes
right?
she would
Probably.
try to do things, but then we would go back to doing.
Did they just show you like movies about food?
I feel like we had to answer like 5 questions out of the book every day, maybe.
Yeah.
And it took like 10 minutes, and so you would just answer them.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's what we
And then
did.
it was like, okay, now just sit here forever. And I was like, all right.
Pretty much.
Work
pretty
on your
much
paper footballs.
Forever.
Yeah. Forever.
like like when you went to school and there would be random days where the teacher was like, "We're watching a movie today."
That was like
I had a
every day.
psychology teacher that was like that, and we just we got to watch like Fear with Marky Mark in it, I think,
No, oh yeah,
Yeah.
and like several other slightly
That movie's
psychology
right.
related
Psychological
movies.
movies.
And we had a teacher and we used to watch Gattaca over and over
Oh,
again.
that was such a good
Gattaca.
movie.
That was biology.
I
no less.
literally talk about Gattaca every year of my life. I
But-
think
Who
I don't
was
even
it that
remember.
taught English and Spanish?
Miss Brewerton.
Brewerton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Brewerton's a
gosh.
bee's knees.
She was amazing.
This is
she
inside
used to keep
baseball, everybody.
She used to keep a pair of silk underpants
And she would clean the board with them.
with the
Yeah.
board.
What?
She was great.
Yeah. You didn't want to go early because she would be cleaning
no.
the board with underwear, and she would ask you
But-
to do it.
And she had some
Classic.
odd
I'm
obsession.
I'm gonna be honest.
with
That sounds a
pigs.
little bit.
Great.
And if you said no, she'd call you pusswad.
Yep.
Yeah. That's,
Wait, this the same
That's,
teacher?
no, not the
No.
same too. No,
Lots
I'm
of
just-
pusswads.
If
running
you said
around
no,
in
she
the
kept you
school.
after class.
That's right.
she used to tell us in early bird Spanish class that we had sexy man voices.
That's right. That's right.
It's just
Anyway,
to boost your machismo.
but
think.
I didn't realize. You don't realize until you're an older.
It did.
When you're older, like I probably had teachers at some time that were like my age now,
yeah,
and
we definitely did. Yeah. Did you guys have teachers? That
I
were
don't.
your
I don't
age?
remember who it was.
No.
But
Isn't it weird to feel like
Well,
we're
Will was
the
a
age-
sub at my school.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, true. Yeah, I did sub
Yeah.
at her school.
But
Who
it,
did we have that were the younger teachers? It was like Mr. Stringer, who was like younger.
no,
No.
not when I was. He was like 40,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know.
That's
I don't know
young
how
and
old he
teacher
is.
age, right?
I don't know.
No, like
It seems like adults were so much older when I was younger.
Yeah. I
yeah.
know.
I
Like they were distinguished and
Yeah, they,
actually
like-
grown up.
Yeah, they had it together. They understood things.
yeah.
They
Well,
understood
we
how
had a
things
teacher,
work.
Miss Carroll. She was
Sure.
like,
Yeah, she was younger than we are now, for sure.
yeah, that's crazy.
Like she was like 24 or something, probably.
yeah, that's
If I had to
crazy.
guess, yeah.
Um,
She
but-
was fresh out of college.
But what I didn't realize until I don't remember who it was. I wish I did, but somebody a couple years ago that was a teacher that said, "You know why teachers do that, right? It's when they drink too much the night before,
oh,
and they,
showing a movie?
and they have a hangover,
Right.
So they show a movie, like just kind of impromptu.
So they can relax.
I have never.
So they
done-
can-
I'd never,
they turn
I
the
would
lights
never do
off.
that.
Like,
and they lay down.
like that's genius.
Yeah, totally.
I think
Makes
I would
sense.
like go an extra step and bring a yoga mat and be like, while you guys watch the movie, I'm
Yeah.
going to be really peaceful
Yeah,
in the back of the class. Just,
Yeah.
don't disturb me unless you really need something.
yeah. I'm really into this movie. So
I would try to get some of that like testing peanut butter and crackers going.
what now?
Do you remember during testing they would send around the peanut
Yeah.
butter and crackers?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
You have to take tests.
Incentive to
Is that a
take
Which
thing?
was ridiculous because that just made me want to take a nap.
Sure.
I was like, oh, ugh.
You got the little apple
Oh,
juice
but-
too with the foil on the top.
And I never
With the
felt.
hole in it.
I
Yeah.
never felt like I got enough.
No, you
Yeah.
always want. I want like 4 of those
Yeah,
apple juices. Like,
exactly.
it's like prison. I assume I've never been in prison, but it's like prison. Like one apple juice is worth so much more when you're in school.
Right.
If you're out of school, you don't give a crap about a
But
little
really,
pouch of apple
what
juice.
goes better with peanut butter than apple juice?
Peanut butter,
Jelly.
crackers, apple juice. Yeah, jelly.
Apples, I like
Corn.
apples and peanut butter.
Apples and
You ever
peanut butter.
had
That's
a you ever, hey, I got a question for you guys.
Joey, go ahead.
You guys ever made a fluffer nutter?
dude.
I don't think that we should be talking about that right now.
You don't know what
That
a fluffer
sounds-
nutter is?
Sometimes I make those on the floor, I think.
Oh, you mean like a food?
Oh my god,
Oh, I don't know why that tickled me.
that was good.
No, it's 2 pieces of toasted bread, peanut butter on one side, and marshmallow cream on the other side. It's
Didn't we just watch a movie where they made
That's all it-
that was a visual cue that listeners
yeah,
missed
they
out
made it.
on.
And then I like,
It's
dude, it's a fluffer nutter.
movie
moment
was
of
it?
silence.
What
worthy.
movie did they have a fluffer nutter in?
I don't know. What did we watch recently?
Oh, I know what it was.
What?
That's not a spoiler. That there's a fluffer nutter in it. It was
Spoiler,
it was
everybody.
10
Spoiler.
Cloverfield Lane.
Oh,
There
it
was a
was.
fluffer
There was a
nutter in-
fluffer
in
nutter.
Well,
in there.
Wow,
It's like an
you have
Easter
ruined
egg.
the
Guys,
entire
thanks.
movie
It's
for
like an
us.
Easter egg now.
I know.
I was
Yeah.
going to go see that, but no.
No, there's no need to.
Yeah, you
that's
should.
really
That's
really
just-
the
it's-
climax.
It's
of the
solid.
Film.
Giant
I would
fluffer
recommend
nutter
that.
sandwich comes over the
Yeah,
hill.
it's a
To,
big fluffer nutter. The whole thing.
I had a friend in Colorado who one day made me for breakfast a piece of toast with Nutella and coconut on it. It was really good.
Raina
Just a
made
whole
some
coconut.
toast that had beans
Kind of fluffer
and
nuttery.
avocado on it the other day, and it was better than
That
it
was a
sounds.
great idea.
It was better than it sounds.
It's really good.
Oh,
I'm
my
glad
mom
you
used
brought
Wow.
it up in this forum right here.
Well,
Yeah.
I figured we were going to derail on the
Literally
food
just
for a while.
listening.
Yeah,
so-
because my mom used to make. This sounds awesome. Sorry, Raina, your food doesn't sound as good as it actually is.
Yeah. It's just about sounding.
Right.
That's the biggest thing for me about food. That
Yeah.
if it doesn't, if I listen to it and it doesn't sound right, I'm just like, no, I'm
yeah.
not. I don't think I can.
How do you
Yeah.
feel about Pop Rocks?
I love that sound.
It's like
That's
how
a good song.
smell influences taste. Sound is the same way. Like taste is like 90% sound. So
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
stuff.
And sound is 90%
yeah.
Smell.
Your
Sound.
face.
Fluffer nutter. Everybody.
Yeah,
knows that.
but my mom used to make this sugary, buttery cinnamon toast.
Yes. I know what you're talking
know what I'm
about.
talking
Secret
about?
sauce.
I
Okay.
used to make that. My
Yeah,
mom
it's
used
a
to make-
piece of bread. Okay, you butter it, you sugar it, you
And you-
cinnamon it,
and then you
put it in
eat
the
it.
you put it in the oven,
You broil it.
Yes.
and then you bring it out and you eat it, and it is fantastic. And if you put lots of sugar and butter on it, it creates this buttery sugar crust.
It's like
Crusp?
caramel.
Crust.
Basically, what you're saying
It's not
is
like caramel,
your
it's-
mom made cinnamon toast.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Way to
It's a
downplay.
great story.
Way to downplay.
Can you tell it again? Do you have to?
It's better than it sounds.
Hey, remember when we ran into each other?
I do remember
Maple
that.
at on the U of L campus.
Uh-huh.
You remember that?
I do
Was that
remember.
before you moved to?
I think that was shortly before I moved to Colorado. I think it was like 2014.
That's crazy because that doesn't feel very long ago,
Uh-huh.
but it's been a while.
It feels like it was just a couple weeks ago.
Isn't it weird that people born on the millennium are driving this year?
Isn't it weird
is
that
weird.
time moves forward?
That is weird. That is
It's
weird. Like
distinctly strange.
let me just say, guys, best episode yet.
Hey,
Easily.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
No, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
I'm
with
just happy that
what's
mine
on the,
mine
everybody
isn't the
look at
worst
the bottom
one
of your
now.
shoe right now. What's on the bottom of your shoe?
Yeah. Yeah. What's on the
Tread.
bottom of your shoe, Pusswad?
Mine says fallen.
The color brown.
Corn.
Pusswad.
it. Yep.
Hey, now we're back on top.
Now we're back. Yep.
Oh
That was a
God!
key
The
quality
Pusswad
segment.
left a fluffernutter on the floor.
Good.
Now we're back.
Well, you know
Now
how
we're
some
here.
shows have games that could be like your game, like the most boring game of all time,
What? Look at the bottom of your shoes?
or something else. Like everybody,
You
Or
immediately-
something else.
You did not believe in that idea at
everybody
all.
look
Can we
at
go-
your
something
hand.
else?
Can we call it Fluffernutter? The
Yeah,
game?
that's what the game is. Yep.
Everybody point in a random direction.
Oh, yeah. Totally visual.
It's a really
on a
good-
podcast. I love it. Yep.
I think
Yep.
that went over well.
I think
The
so.
sound of us
Hey,
pointing in different directions.
Here's the thing:
listeners
did
loved
we
it.
or did we not just do that?
Well, I
That's
mean,
the question. Maybe we're lying.
I obviously won because I pointed at the wall.
I pointed at a
Right.
chair.
Let's
Right.
play Heads
What's
Up,
up?
7 Up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wall
That'll be
beats
fun.
chair.
Wait, let me ask you this. We always do have to ask this. What have you been listening to lately?
Joe Rogan.
Alanis
Okay.
Morissette.
That's
Okay.
true. On
I
the way
saw
over
that,
here,
yeah.
we listened to Alanis Morissette.
Yeah.
I saw your post on that, and I was
I
like,
was jamming
What
today.
what Alanis were you enjoying?
The classic.
All the loud
yeah,
ones.
all the
Classics?
classic popular ones.
Okay.
yeah. What's the song? It's.
Got some words for
Yeah,
that?
that's.
or-
I love that song.
I
I love that you're praying your voice.
but you
That's my favorite part of it.
It was before all her hits came out. Is that one? You know that one?
Are you sure that wasn't one of the first hits?
Oh my god!
That sounds like every Alanis Morissette.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they all
song
do
to me.
sound.
No,
I think you
sometimes
just did a mashup of all the.
Yeah, it was just
sometimes
classics.
we'll jam that song, and Tiff and I will dance around the room just like.
Good.
I'm air guitaring.
We were kind of
like how you
we were
even
kind of
applied-
karaokeing to Alanis Morissette on the way over here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We
That's a
almost
good-
got hit by an ambulance.
I
while
got one hand
doing
in
that.
my
Watch out.
pocket, and the other
Oh,
one.
did you guys get to that one?
Wall.
Did you guys get to
No.
that song?
Well, do you remember? Was it ironic or what
Yeah,
were you jamming?
did
We
listen
played
to that.
Ironic
Okay,
and
good.
whatever the track right after. Ironic
You ought to
is.
know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's the one we were jamming to.
Oh,
You?
When the ambulance.
Yep.
you are.
Close.
That's when you went away.
Is that song? Everybody mentions this. Whenever that song comes up, it's always mentioned that song is about Dave Coulier. Is that true?
Who's that?
Well, now it is because you mentioned it.
Uncle Joey from Full House?
Oh, that would be awesome.
I think so. I think it really is.
Why is she?
I mean, they dated for a long time.
I mean,
so.
why
think
is she
about
going
it.
down that road?
That's a very passionate song to write about
Yeah.
Uncle Joey, though.
And Uncle
you know?
Joey's—he's a passionate guy.
Is he?
I mean,
I thought he just had a
Passionate about
non-aggressive mullet.
puppets.
that's still.
I think that was
passionate.
just stage Joey.
Oh, okay.
You can be passionate and non-aggressive at the same time.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Passive aggressive? What?
Passive aggressive. Yeah, that's it.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like
That was Uncle Joey. Have you guys watched Fuller House?
I haven't
Speaking
seen
of
it yet.
Joey.
Is it any good?
I heard it's terrible.
I
haven't
heard it's
watched
terrible
it.
too, and I.
But I think
won't
it's like, I think it's intentionally. I think it's aware of what it is. I don't think it's trying to be a quote
It's
unquote
called
good
Fuller
show.
House. That's
Right.
already stepping all over him.
But
Is it
I
really Fuller though?
Oh,
I
you're
think
a Full
it's
House.
yeah.
We're
I
a
mean,
Are there more people in the house?
Fuller House.
That's a
yeah.
good.
Is it the same
I think
house?
so. Same house.
Same house. Good.
Dang, they still live there?
But I think it's I think it's aware of what it is, and I think anybody who I've talked to who have watched it, they said I had to watch it all. Like,
Well, then you need.
That sounds just
That's
intimidating.
like the
you
words
need
of
to
an
stay
addict
away
right
from
there.
that person. That person's obviously insane.
Yeah.
I kind of want to watch it all.
That person feels how I feel about life. Just totally addicted.
I got a whiff, and I had to have the whole shebang.
That's right.
But yeah, no. Here's the thing, though. If you're like dating Alanis or whatever, like
Right.
she's
We've all
bound to
been there.
like be a little bit like difficult, right? Because she's like so like.
Yeah. Her voice breaks all the time.
Well, you just got to be into that specific tone of voice. You know?
Yeah.
Remember Dogma?
Canadians.
Remember do you see Dogma?
She was awesome
Oh, yeah.
in Dogma.
She was
like,
the
think
Lord.
about her tone of voice in Dogma. It explodes.
I know, it was
heads.
so
She was-
soft. But her voice was
Yeah.
so soft. Or she didn't
She
even
didn't
talk.
speak.
She didn't say
She
anything.
was like
No, wait,
all she
no,
did
no,
was
no,
she
she went-
pranced around, she smiled, and she was just so lovely.
No,
in
so
that
she
movie.
opens her mouth and somebody's head explodes.
Yeah.
But then also she does do one other thing. She goes
She does
to
You're correct.
somebody.
It's
Little
surprising
nose
that
sound.
noise
Little
that
nose.
noise didn't like cause anything to explode.
I know. That was somehow fine. I mean, I guess she is
Are you
God.
trying
She
to?
can do
Yeah, are you
whatever she
trying to
wants.
make? You trying to put God in a box? Can't put
Well, I mean,
God in a box.
I'm just saying
That's
if,
ironic.
if the
God
voice
can make
Don't you
people's
think?
heads explode.
the premise
a
was-
little too ironic.
the premise was you
Yeah, I
couldn't,
really
you couldn't
do
hear God's voice and
Right.
not like have something
And not have
explode.
it- not
So
have it
like
explode.
a single sound, like a single tone,
Yeah.
wouldn't that have a similar power? I mean,
You would
wouldn't you
think.
think?
Oh,
wouldn't you
the
think?
voice of God.
That would be my question. I'd be like, why's my head still here?
Alan
That's
Rickman.
cool that you did that, but
Alan,
yeah.
He was
Alan
the voice
Rickman
of-
was good in that.
He was
yeah,
great.
he was good. Yeah.
What else you listen to?
Besides Atlantis.
Nothing.
Yeah, on the
Oh yeah,
breaks.
that was the question
Nothing,
that was asked.
Between the 3-hour Atlantis marathons. What do you...
Absolutely
Nothing else?
No.
Nothing
I
else?
just
we
the
just
other
listen
day.
to the same Growlers song over and over again. That's all we.
Yep.
That's all we listen to.
I just went to the Tim Faulkner Gallery this past Saturday.
Oh, cool.
There's a thing called the Collab going on, and I got to see Powell, who is, I think they're local guys, but they're three brothers who one of them plays drums, one of them plays bass guitar, one plays regular guitar and sings.
Yeah.
And they had this saxophone player that was just amazing,
Nice.
Mm.
Antoine.
Saxophone player.
I forget his last name. But awesome, like really awesome show. And then
It sounds like... All right, here's the thing. On the podcast, like, Kenton did a thing
But it
to
sounds
mock
like
your hand
I'm-
movement. It sounds like you just think saxophone players are stupid. Like, that's what that sounded
But
like.
I'm going to stick with that.
Saxophone player.
Saxophone player.
Anyway.
Well, okay.
it was awesome. It was
really
a great
just-
show. How dare you?
Just honking all over the place.
That's right.
No, he killed it. He was
Honking.
real fresh
Yeah.
with
Nice.
it.
I want to buy a saxophone.
You
You
used to
used
play.
to play the saxophone.
I haven't played. I haven't tooted a horn.
Weren't you first chair saxophone?
I was second chair under Tyler West.
That's
man.
right. That's because he was a madman.
No
Yeah,
justice.
he
in
was.
that
He was
world.
just.
honker.
He was just really a lot more into it than I was.
I played trombone in high school.
I
middle
played
school.
trombone too.
Nice.
Got all the
I
way
was
to the
also
top.
in the marching
You
band.
play trombone. You're in the marching band? Mm-hmm. Nice. Did you march in more than 2 parades a year
I did
that were roughly
well,
a half mile long? Because then you did more marching than we did.
Symphonic band. I played
Oh.
trombone. Marching band. I was in the percussion pit, so I didn't march at all.
That
Gotcha.
sounds way better.
I just sat
Yeah.
on the side and fucked around while.
Yeah.
That sounds way better.
That does sound way
Yeah.
better. Yeah,
Especially being in something called the pit.
I played a marching tuba the
Open
whole
up
time.
this pit.
A sousaphone.
I just really like avocados.
What?
Two-step.
What? Joe, what are you listening to? It's bringing this about.
Happy hardcore.
Wait, was that not what we were talking about?
I don't know, man.
Because she was
Marching
like
band?
opening up the
Marching
pit.
band.
and-
Oh, I see. Yeah. Right. Marching band.
I,
Raina, didn't you-
I like avocados.
Did you open the pit or who?
Raina only
It was
listens
a
to
percussion pit, like a
Meshuggah.
mosh pit with percussionists just
Yeah.
rocking out.
Just
Yeah, it's like a.
slice an avocado and then
Throwing elbows is technically percussion, I think.
No, it was,
Throwing bows.
I remember
Yeah.
playing trombone with Chris Moore, and you were there.
Yep.
Were you there
You
the?
were there sometimes.
We talked about this on the podcast. We had Chris on, but were you there the day that? Yeah, I love this. Okay, were you there the day that it was after school and Will had forgotten something at school?
Oh, yeah. We
like
talked
in the
about this.
in the bleachers and he was like, "Guys, I
forgot my video camera.
I gotta
That's
go
what it
get
was.
I gotta get my handy cam because it's there. Someone's gonna take it, and Chris is walking behind us, and Chris is like, "Yeah, wait for me. I'll come and I'll get in the car and we'll all go together." And Will's like, "Sure, that's
I know
fine."
exactly
and
what
then
you're talking about.
and then Chris is getting a little closer, and Will apparently in his head's like, "Oh man, he is going that slow on purpose." And it came down to the last minute. He's almost to the car, and Will and his something just snaps in his head. He's like, "Forget you, man!" And he. And we just leave him on the road.
No.
And we're looking behind, and we look back, and Chris is back there, and he takes his trombone, and he chucks it like 20
Chucks
feet.
it right
And it
there.
lay-
Yep.
Didn't it break?
It was in a case. I don't know. I don't think it broke,
No,
but
well,
he
I'm
threw
pretty-
it really high.
I think I remember
He was really upset.
his trombone already being a little messed up
Okay.
before, and then he was like,
Oh my gosh,
He was almost there,
It's
I think.
intense.
that's pretty funny.
And you were like, "No,
I was like, no.
I'm going to get my handy cam and
Do you remember
punishing you."
In my defense, we were about 3 minutes from the school. We saw him about 10 minutes after that to hang out.
were you guys there when we would go over to Chris's house after school all the time because it was so close?
Oh,
We would
yeah.
just walk over to school. And
Yeah,
we got
Clog and
all-
Turd. I remember.
We'll move on to that. But do you remember when we somehow got a hold of all those bottle rockets
Yes.
and we were
You mean bought them?
I remember that day.
bought them, got a hold of them,
Yeah.
whatever your English
Whatever you want to say.
teacher,
Acquired.
teacher
Acquired,
man.
Yeah.
But do you remember when we were over there and who was it? I shot, I think Chris, right between the eyes, and he started bleeding out of the head
Yeah.
with a bottle rocket. And as soon as that happened, the cops showed up.
I remember we were on the roof of Chris's house,
Yes.
and like we were shooting bottle
Yeah.
rockets at each other. There were people
Like-
down in the yard on
Yeah.
both sides. It was like an all-out war, and it wasn't surprising at all that the police showed up.
No,
but I don't
they-
think we got in any trouble. I think they were just like
They
knock
just
it off.
some
don't-
of the bottle rockets.
Don't do
Yeah,
that.
you don't really get in trouble in Monticello unless like
Well, we would go over to your house and get giant things of PVC pipe
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just shoot them at each other's faces.
You did live a little
Yeah.
farther out
Yeah,
from
no cops.
from the police station.
No
it's a
cops
good
out
spot.
there.
It's a good spot.
It's a
Yeah,
good
that's
like
true.
10, 15 minutes
That
from
is
the
true.
police
Chris's
station.
house was like, it was less
Right
than a
there.
block. Yeah.
Yeah, it was right there.
Right by the cops.
close to downtown Monticello,
Yep.
where the Doughboy is.
the happening
gosh.
spot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially once they opened that diner. I don't think I ever went in that place.
Yeah.
How
So-
can you
I would
open
do
a
that.
50s diner in a place that already
That's kind
reminds
of-
you of a forgotten age?
And how are you going to open a 50s diner when you have a pool hall just right
Right.
across the
That
street?
That's
Pool hall,
really
though?
a 50s-ish.
I gotta say,
Yeah.
I don't eat meat anymore, but that pool hall made the best
They were
freaking
great.
Oh, yeah.
hamburgers of
Yeah.
all
I
time.
think they had cigarette ash in them.
Yeah.
That was
must
the
have been
secret
the secret.
ingredient.
That's what makes them good.
Well, they would salt the meat like with these giant salt shakers,
And then
yeah.
put the buns on
and
them.
put
while
the
they
buns.
were
While
Yeah.
they're
While they're
grilling.
cooking.
geniuses.
Yep.
Um,
And then they would give them to you in a paper bag, and by the time you got out to your car,
It was
the whole
soaked.
bottom of the paper bag was just
Soaked,
grease.
Yeah.
It was just soaked.
Yeah, one time
Yeah.
Will and I went to the pool hall, and this was again junior year when we had an hour long for lunch.
Yeah.
And we went out there and we were ordering our burgers or whatever, and at the time you probably still don't, but I didn't eat onions or any vegetables or
like
anything because I was like a junior in high school.
No.
And we get there, and we're already out of place. Like these kind of like weird little like skatery kind of dudes, like band dudes walking into a really small
kids,
town, punk
yeah.
kids,
And too young.
Oh,
into a pool hall in a dry county.
Yeah.
Like normally a pool hall is where you go to no, you literally just go there you play pool.
you play pool or you get hamburgers.
Yeah.
And you get hamburgers.
Yeah,
and
that's it.
But so we walk in and we're ordering. We're already uncomfortable, and
Yep.
they're like, "What do you guys want?" Like 2 burgers apiece. That's what we want. So they're making our burgers, and as they're dressing our burgers, they're like, "You boys want you want onions on your burgers?" And we're like,
Nope.
"No, thank you." He says, "What?" he says, "Onions make your sticker pack out." And we're like, what? And he's like, if you don't eat onions, your sticker won't pack out. And
I don't even know what that means.
Until
Just sit with it. Just let it
until last week,
simmer.
Let it
I
soak
kid you
in.
not, last week, this was junior year of high school. That's
Yeah.
2003.
Yep.
It's 2016 now.
Yeah.
Last week, my friend Jake we're riding with him to go get some food, and he's like, "Dude, you got to hear this song I found from this like country Americana style band," and he starts playing the song, and the chorus says, "Your love makes my sticker pack out," and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, I could have sworn that weird, creepy old dude talking to high school boys about their stickers
Yeah.
made that up, but he
Oh
did
my
not.
First of all, don't
God.
talk to me about my sticker. And then
Right.
second of all, maybe it's his grandson's band.
I was gonna say maybe it is.
It's a family
That was
band.
exactly
Yeah.
my thought.
maybe
But
so.
The real question is that true about onions? Is that one of the benefits
Yeah, it's
of
true, man.
onions?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I knew it. I
Yep.
knew
Well
it.
known
it's true.
fact.
Yeah.
I eat onions all the time. I don't
That-
believe it.
That place that place was amazing. Partially because it was kind of still in the 50s. Like it was a thing where like women, it was unspoken, but like women kind of weren't allowed to
I
go
never
in
saw
there.
a woman
I
in
never
there.
saw a
They
woman in
they
there,
could walk
period.
in. They could walk in. I mean, officially they wouldn't do anything, and I realized obviously they can't say you're a woman, you can't be here. So I would just take my female friends there, and we would play pool and like just live through all the looks. But very often, people like women would come and stand just right inside the door and just wait on the order to be done, and then just take it with them. And it was like the bathroom, you could only pee standing up in the bathroom. It was like a bucket on a pipe, and that was all they had.
God.
I'm sure they upgraded at some point, but
Probably not.
yeah,
dude,
maybe
I
not.
don't think so.
When was the
Yeah.
last time you went to the pool hall?
It's been a long time.
We should
Speak-
go.
We should take
Speaking
a
of,
trip down to the pool.
Yeah, well, let's do that.
Wait,
Speaking
it
of
was-
peeing in buckets, I have a story about Will that I could tell.
I'm excited.
Let's hear
for
it.
this.
It actually doesn't have anything to do with
Anything
peeing
with
in
Will
buckets at
and
all.
peeing in buckets.
I thought you were going to talk about those eggs.
Oh,
God.
the non.
Piddle.
Yeah, they're not pervert. They're
They're not.
piddle eggs.
They're not pervert.
Chinese virgin boy piddle eggs. I'll show you the video later.
But on a non sequitur, when we were young, because you guys talked a little bit on the show that I heard with Raina about Will and I used to play as young children.
Yeah.
And I remember this one time he had I think it was a Talk Boy, like on Home Alone, where you record stuff and you play it back. And so we had this tape and we put it in there and we took all these different songs from all these different bands and like took little clips of each of the songs and like recorded part of it, and then we would have like some dialogue to like connect the little sample clips from all the songs together. I imagine if we still
Nice.
had it, it would sound like really, really bad.
Yeah.
But
Or
at the
amazing.
time, it seemed like a huge accomplishment,
Yeah.
and we were really proud of it. I think.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But that
I'd
was
totally
like my
forgotten about
that was my first foray into like doing sound.
Did we
production
record
and
that
stuff.
off of like a video game or something? Part of it?
I don't know.
feel
Maybe
like-
we had CDs, but we were
yeah,
like recording it.
just little pieces
Yeah,
here and
yeah.
there, and like trying to make it. That's so crazy. That's awesome. It's crazy that like kids, if they want to. I mean, we were probably pretty young, I guess.
Yeah,
Right? But
middle school at
yeah,
most.
at most. But like, if a middle schooler wanted to do that today, it would be a totally different.
Right,
No,
they're
it'd
just
be
talking to their
completely
iPhone,
different.
and,
Yeah.
they
You
could-
could
and it
get
wouldn't
an
be that
app
big of
and-
a
Yeah,
deal.
and then if they
DJ.
really wanted to do it, they could go back in and like. I'm sure kids can learn to do simple,
Editing.
GarageBand stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
that's crazy.
But we were super young. There were
Yeah.
no iPhones. There were no
No.
smartphones at all.
just a tape.
It was just a tape recorder.
I got my first cell phone. I was like 17, It's when I got my first car, and my parents were like, "We're gonna get you one of those green Nokia faceplate cell
the
phones."
big block phones.
Yeah,
one of
I had
those.
the red one.
Nice, and because they felt like if you're going to be driving, if like you drive all the way to Somerset, which for those of you who don't know, it's like 17 miles away.
But the first time you drove to
Jeez.
Somerset, was it not awesome?
It was
just like,
awesome. I was like, I'm
Yep.
free, free falling, and I'm just like living. But anyway, so they got me this phone or whatever, and I remember my first text. It was with a guy named Neil Compton, and
What up, Neil?
Yeah, and I'm hanging out with my dad, and we're like just hanging out like people do, and I'm like playing with the phone or whatever, and I'm like, oh, messages, what is that? Like, okay, yeah, and then I start clicking the numbers, and I learn how to piece a sentence together with numbers, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I click send, and he replies, and I'm like, what is this? I go running through the house, Dad, I just sent him a message with my phone, and he sent one back. I'm like 17 years old,
Dude.
Yeah.
Just so you guys get understand, if you were born in the midnight,
Don't.
I was
You
17
almost
years
lost
old, and
your
I
life with that thing on multiple occasions.
I did.
I remember
I did.
you almost drove off a bridge.
I did.
I ran into that poor old lady.
It wasn't an old lady. It was.
It's a young male.
It was two. It was
It was two horses.
It was a man and a woman and their 5-year-old mullet child.
Oh,
Right.
Was it Batman with his parents before they died?
Negative.
Did you kill Batman's parents?
Oh, I'm the reason he's so awesome.
well,
Yeah.
speaking of car accidents, do
You're
you guys
welcome, world.
remember when John Alexander would come over to the house all the time out in the country at your mom's house?
Oh,
And
yeah.
He was driving the car out once, and a deer ran out of the woods and impaled the car.
Yep.
I do remember
Yep.
I think that was your mom's car.
that. Probably.
I think it was too.
I'm
So
sure.
once in a-
No,
once in a
actually, I
lifetime.
take that
Sounds
back.
right.
That was
Oh.
his car, and then he ran your mom's car into those Swedish people.
Right.
Yeah, a pregnant Swedish
The
couple
Swedes.
in a convertible rental
Just
Mustang.
plowed him down.
There you go.
It was good.
Well,
He hates Swedish.
Now, John Alexander was the first of our friend group to wear women's pants.
right.
Is
He
that
was the
true?
first one. Mhm.
And he
What?
sucked us in.
First one
Yep.
to wear lady jeans.
Yeah, Kenton's still doing that. Look
Well,
at him.
These are man's pants.
I know. It's like mine are like
I think.
made of men.
Yeah. It's real weird.
These are made of skin. I see you. All these
Yeah.
gestures.
Anyway,
we should this will be good for like somebody like fixing dinner to listen to, right? Isn't that what people do? Like they listen
Yeah,
to it while
like
they're
they're
making dinner?
they're already thinking of their cinnamon toast and their fluffernutters,
yeah.
Corn.
pooping themselves.
corn.
I told you at the beginning of this thing I was ready to go get a burrito.
Yeah.
Oh, I used
now
to make
I'm
this
like
thing
triple.
You are triple.
a few years ago. I started making this thing where you take an apple and you hollow out the center of it and you fill it up with peanut butter.
Oh, I thought this was going
almond butter.
somewhere
Yeah, I
else.
was like,
Or almond butter, but
Yeah.
I called it an apple bomb, and you just eat the whole thing.
it's delicious.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty
I like
good.
But
that.
this guy also eats the entire apple.
There's nothing
That-
wrong,
you eat
there's
the
nothing
cork
wrong
or
with that.
weird?
There's
No,
nothing wrong
that's-
with that.
you
It's
can do
pretty
that.
easy.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm
just saying,
I
it's
think
pre-
if you
it's-
ate
it's
too
not
many
that
apple
difficult.
seeds together, though, if you like ate a bucket, it's like
You'd grow an
poisonous.
apple tree in
I think
your
it's
Yeah,
house.
that's
poisonous.
where arsenic comes from.
A
Maybe?
bucket,
Yeah.
though.
Here's the thing, though.
But you'd have to
Well,
eat a lot of apples.
Yeah, well, it sounds
Haven't
like
you ever
have.
heard that if you eat a watermelon
But
seed,
over a
you'll
long
grow a
period of
watermelon
time.
in your stomach?
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
true.
that
my
was an
grandma,
episode of Rugrats.
Is that not true?
Yeah, my grandma used to tell me if you ate the white part, the rind,
Yeah.
is that what it's called, that it would kill you.
Yeah, that's not true.
I
So
don't
I
think
was
that's
always
true
very
either.
careful.
I think that
Maybe
was just
we're all
a
dead right
wise
now
tale.
because we did that.
I feel like not eating the center of an apple is kind of like cutting the crust off of your bread. I feel like it's on that level. You know what I mean?
Not cutting
I
the
do.
crust off?
I do it.
Wait,
I
come
don't eat
again?
the core. I feel like
But
it's
do
one of
you
those things
also
where like
cut the
you're
crust
kind
off
of
your
being
bread?
picky by not eating the core of the apple.
I think it's just
You know what I mean?
a social custom more than anything.
I feel like it is. Like the seeds. I mean, you can spit the seeds out, but like
It's not
eating
just
the
the
core.
seeds, though.
there's just a tiny little
There's
bit
like
of
little
like
bit of
there's
barely difficult to chew through, like
There's-
apple membrane or something.
there's
like that.
plenty of like weird stuff in there.
But it's easy to eat. Is my point. Like you can just,
Plenty.
if you were to eat one,
It's not
which
more-
you obviously probably don't, but like.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, generally people don't.
Yeah.
But once I started doing it, I was like, now I don't have an apple core that I have to do
Right.
anything with. I
Right.
can just consume
Do
this
you-
whole thing.
Do you eat?
Maybe spit
What
out
do you do with the
seeds.
stem and then the bottom little flurries?
I mean,
Little-
those-
The
little
bottom,
bee-
the bottom
bee
little,
hole.
the
Eat
bottom
some.
leaves. I don't worry about. I feel like that's not an issue. The stem,
You eat-
I
you
might
eat the
not
bottom
eat.
leaves?
I just use the stem as a handle sometimes.
There you go.
I feel like if I'm going to eat an apple
Yeah.
fully,
Yeah.
I need to cut it into like
Quarters. Or
quarters or something, and that way I can like get rid of my little pea pod in there. And
Well,
all
and the
that.
thing is also, if
Mumbo.
you do that, then you're not
Peapod.
you're always dealing with just a quarter of the core with more apple around it. Whereas
Which
maybe
is
if
easier
you
to
eat
deal
the,
with,
the
maybe.
round the apple, you've eaten all the apple stuff,
Yeah.
and then you just eat a core by itself. Maybe that's
But
Yeah,
then what do you do with the
different for you.
stem? I'm cool with the rest of
it's
the
just
part.
like a tiny
Well,
stick. You, could
put the
throw that
stem
on
in
your
your
Little
floor.
pocket. You
toothpick.
can put it on the ground.
Yeah, you
like,
can put it anywhere.
It'll disintegrate. And
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
clean your teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're decomposing.
Which
already.
reminds me of Copperhead Jackson.
How's it?
I just thought of a toothpick, and that I was instantly
my,
thought of that.
Oh yeah, I used to when I'd have a toothpick, I'd like take my facial hair and I'd like shave all the chin off of it to where it's like wah wah, and my character's name was Copperhead Jackson.
But it was like a whole alter ego type thing.
I enjoyed it.
How did that go? Like, what was the voice like? Do you have that on tap still? Or?
No, I don't think. Did I have a voice?
I don't know.
Surely.
I mean, typically I have a voice.
It
but
was
You gotta
just
have a
your
style,
same voice,
like
but
a-
you were
It was
like,
that voice.
now I'm Copperhead.
But you're right.
I don't know. I probably just spoke. I probably just cranked up the.
The country charm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it.
I don't know.
You spoked your poke or whatever, sticked your pickle.
Yeah,
Do you need a toothpick in order to?
You stick your
uh,
pickle.
Reconnect with
probably
that?
so. Or I need to eat an entire apple
Eat an
and
entire
have
apple.
a stem left.
Yeah,
could-
I don't
we could
know.
have a competition one day.
Toothpick instantly
Yeah.
made me think of that. Ingrained in my brain forever.
You're welcome. You're welcome for that.
We gotta tell. We gotta have them tell listeners where they can see their stuff.
Oh yeah.
We put Raina's stuff up a
If
little
you
bit.
want to see Kenton's sticker,
Yeah. You want to see it? Heck out.
Getting pickered.
Yep.
You can see my stuff on Instagram. That's probably the best place to see it. Stickle.
Yep.
Pickle.
but here's the problem though. Let's talk
Good.
about
So
this for a
just
second.
Instagram.com. That's you.
Have
Yeah,
you guys
the whole thing.
have you guys experienced
well for
the wave that is the weird Instagram thing that's happening?
I heard
Where
about
people
it.
are just
Specifically?
using those as their websites.
Okay, I listen. I don't no.
No,
Negative.
it's not chronological
I don't
order.
mean. I'm not trying to call anybody out.
Oh,
Okay,
that.
I'm not trying to call anybody out.
Do it.
listeners.
We've called out Doritos on this show before.
Yeah.
We're very controversial.
And if you do this, it's fine. I'm just trying to understand it. Okay.
and critique you.
So, people have been posting a picture of themselves or whatever on Instagram, and it has a little arrow pointing to notifications, basically saying, click on notifications so that every time I post something, you'll get a notification and you can look at it.
Why would I want to do that?
Okay, my thought is like,
What?
Just
like,
post
so-
good
so-
stuff.
So basically, the new thing about Instagram is that if you don't typically like someone's stuff, you're going to stop seeing it. You're just going it's going to be an algorithm that just shows you typically what you like.
Good.
Twitter kind of does that too. Like it's got a while you're away thing at the top, and
Yeah.
then if you scroll down far enough,
It just shows you the hits.
right.
Yeah.
But which is kind of dumb because like if
Yeah.
I follow somebody on Instagram, it's probably because I like want to like see what they
Right.
are
If
posting
you
and stuff.
Yeah.
follow them, I feel like you've already gone
You've
through
already-
the steps to do
yeah.
that.
Yeah, and I feel like hitting like is just like yeah,
That's extra.
But
Yeah.
like if you just go through and like everything, then it's like
Well,
Yeah, what does that
The thing
mean?
I don't understand about it is I've seen a bunch of my artist friends being like, "Hey, we don't want to get lost in like this whatever of your feed, so hit like or
Yeah.
whatever, like turn on the notifications
Yeah.
so you can keep seeing us."
so.
But I'm like, if you already like that person and you're liking their stuff all the time, wouldn't you see them anyway?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. And it is a little different for like an artist uses Instagram as a platform for their work, what they do, so people can see it and kind of engage with it. But like me, like I post like pictures of like my dog mostly.
I really like that.
And for the most part, I mean, I'm sure there's part of me that's like, when I get a lot of likes on a picture, you know, it makes me feel good. Whatever, it's some sort of weird, you know, justification of the thing that is part of my life that people are acknowledging me for. But for the most part, like I need to keep my phone clean of photos, so I'll post something on Instagram and then I can delete it, and then like I just always have it. And I go back through my own feed to look through memories because it's nice. It's like your own like, picture book. It's like a storage. Yeah. But when people are like, make sure you like click on notifications so you can see what I'm doing every day. I'm not promoting anything. This is just me, and I want you to know every time I post something.
Stay in tune.
So because what would happen if you don't? If you stopped seeing the things I post, it doesn't like there's nothing matters about it. It's just that
I think we should just make embrace that. Just make an app that will just change the number of likes on all of your social media stuff, and then you can just not worry about it anymore. You know what I mean?
But
I think
it'll just change. It'll just. I mean, and you know it's doing it, but it's just like
randomizing it.
Just jacking it up, just making it crazy high.
Well, we could just have a website where everyone automatically gets like 500 likes every time you post a picture.
Exactly, it'll be
Everybody
like
feels great.
It's like setting your watch fast. Like it's not true, but like it helps. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we're living in a time where we're not really thinking about why we're doing what we're doing. I'm sure it's always been that way.
I'm definitely not.
I've got to say, when I look at Instagram, I'm usually posting stuff, but when I look at it and look at other people's stuff, I'll look at the people who hit like on my stuff, and then sometimes I'll go back and look at like all the people that I've liked and go through and just like look at their page. And so sometimes I'll just naturally, organically get stuff in my feed, but most of the time I go to their page and I look at a bunch of their pictures. And so maybe that day I'll go through and like a bunch of their pictures. Right. But, you know, it's just kind of sporadic and I don't know. But I'm looking at the people that I want to look at their pictures. You know? Like that's, I think that's.
You're doing it consciously.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still get the feed every once in a while, but I don't know. Maybe that won't affect me as much as it would some other people.
Yeah.
I mean, just the whole idea of it is just strange if you really think about it.
I feel like the amount of control that they're trying to exert over like what we see and how we see it is kind of strange. I also saw something in response to that probably that said, by the way, Tumblr still has a straight feed, like chronological order.
It seems like that would be something you should be able to turn on and off.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like if you want it to be selective feed, do that. But like if you want just straight feed, why not?
Yeah, why not just have the option?
I agree with you. It makes me a little bit maybe uncomfortable that it seems like they're trying to get consumers used to to the idea that it's not just a straight feed.
I feel like it's also kind of similar to the Facebook algorithm for how stuff is displayed. But coincidentally, for whoever doesn't know that, Instagram is owned by the Facebook Corporation.
Yeah, and that does make sense that they would change to a similar kind of thing. But
and I mean, I'm sure they have reasons for it. You know, maybe if you just put a straight feed on there, you end up losing users because it doesn't show them what they want to see or something like that.
What I've noticed though is that on all the social networks, if you post certain times a day, you know, usually early morning to late afternoon, you'll get natural, just like people that see your feed because that's when they're on looking at stuff. And so like it won't always be the same people, but you'll get some of the same people because they look at a lot of your stuff. And then you'll get some just natural people that are like, oh, that's interesting, or that is a tag that I am interested in and follow on a regular basis, whatever.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Here's an interesting thought I just had.
On this poofy wall.
So
you're falling asleep.
Prior to what you think of as social media, if you had something you wanted to share with someone, you would share that thing with that person or those people that you wanted to share it with.
Yes.
Right? Like
in person.
Yeah.
That's what you mean.
In person or
email, whatever.
email,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
send a letter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's much less about
never sent a letter in his life.
it's much less about
Yeah.
who you're sharing your thing with, and more about your thing and just sharing it with nobody.
And
really,
if you
Are
have
you
a political
talking about
career, that's
sharing
a
it-
bad move.
sharing it with
Pictures of your
nothing.
thing?
It's more about the number of people you share it with.
Yeah,
Right?
Are you talking about mailing pictures of your thing to people?
yeah.
Like snail mail, just like it's gonna get you.
That's
That's
easy
what,
to
that,
track.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
That's the new creep
Are
way
we
to
talking about
send
nudes?
pics.
Makes your
Yeah.
sticker pack
So
out.
it's about how many people you share it with now?
Your
yeah,
thing.
Is that what you mean?
yeah, or just that it's shared.
Oh, I
that you are being that you're like, look at this.
Right.
Look
It's,
at
it's
my
less
thing.
of
You construct your own identity through upkeep of social media things.
It seems,
Some people
it
can.
seems kind of like it's encouraging general people to look at their like what they do as in a similar way to what an artist would do
Yeah.
already, like in the 90s or any time period. But like artists specifically are like, I'm working hard on this specific medium. I want people to know about it. I want to build a life around it. So now it's kind of generalized to where they're like, no matter what you're doing, if you're eating eggs, if you're walking in the park, like let everybody know about it and promote it in that way, so people know about like who you are, like what you do.
yeah. And now we're like conditioned as a people to like filter it all out. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like, for example, if I ever see or if someone ever invites me to something on Facebook, typically I'm like delete. It's like I'm
Sure.
just like
Just
everybody's wanting you to do to like their thing, to see their thing, to look at their thing, and it's not about that special important thing anymore. It's just about that there's something.
Sure.
Does that am I making any sense?
That makes sense.
I
mean,
agree with that, but I also think that that it's kind of because it's only been like that for so long that it's not more successful. And recently, I've gotten to where I'll look at my events on kind of a regular basis on the social networks. What's going on, at local places. I think more local businesses have gotten involved in promoting themselves that way, and so I'll find out about what's going on at Kaiju. There's comedy shows that go on at Kaiju a lot of nights now. What's going on at Tim Faulkner
I
Gallery?
think the event thing was probably a bad example.
I do think that a lot of people felt like that, and I definitely felt like that for a long time, and I've only recently started to really appreciate kind of the schedule ability of things based on that. But I also think that it's oversaturated. Like there's way too much going on, and it's kind of difficult. It's kind of overwhelming to think about all that stuff.
Well, and I think you're going back to your point about like how you are looking at Instagram. I think it also probably one difference could be if you're doing things intentionally on social media versus if you just, like you were saying, you pull it up because something else is, you don't have to do anything right now. You're waiting on something. Yeah, you're using it as a time filler. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, oh, I'm going to look at Facebook right now and I'm going to check this, this, and this because I want to see what's going on. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you're doing it really intentionally, I feel like you could use it purposefully, but it's very tempting and it's almost made so that you will not necessarily have to have a purpose in order to use it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's this guy and he's half teddy bear and he's really mad about it.
He likes it.
He likes the amount of control that it inflicts upon him.
He likes that.
Yeah, that's
he likes
right.
that.
He's the
I haven't seen it.
So,
I haven't seen it yet.
what's your Instagram?
If someone sends me an event on Facebook, I just publicly shame them and delete their friendship and everything.
Okay.
Instagram.com/ my name with no vowels. So KNTNMNTGMRY.
All right.
I can't believe I did that.
Very well done. Yeah, that was very well done.
Man, I'm killing
That's rehearsed.
Yeah.
the whole time you've been talking about this Instagram
You've
thing,
just been
I'm
going over
like,
it. Yeah.
Okay. God, I don't know.
And then what about your stuff, Maple? Where can we see that?
I have a website, maplexmonk.com. Nice. Maplex Monk is kind of my stage name, pen name, whatever.
Yeah.
Avatar, if you will. But so maplexmonk.com kind of has links to my Instagram and YouTube and other things that you can do. I have a forum that I've been working on. It's not much on it yet, but
cool. Well, listeners, go put stuff on there. Wait, is that something like a forum? Like when I think forum, I think like 2003.
It is like
like a board.
Yeah,
you know?
I've got a message board, and I've just started like putting different ideas and categories in there, and
Sweet.
hoping that eventually people will look at it and be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I connect with that. I want to respond to that."
Totally. Raina, we probably plugged your stuff last time on here, but you should do it again.
Yep, I'm just rocking the Instagram right now. It's just
Okay.
Raina Trimble.
Nice.
When are you gonna put up that Jeff Goldblum or Jurassic Park fan fiction?
Listen, that's another story. I wrote. All right.
Did you write a Jeff Goldblum, Jack Nicholson / fiction?
No,
It's
I
not
wrote.
actually Jeff Goldblum.
It has nothing to do with Jeff Goldblum. I wrote. Why did you bring this up?
Because you need to know.
I wrote.
stuff.
Okay, so needless to say, I'm a big Jurassic Park fan. So I thought it would be funny. People write like erotic fictions all the time, right?
Sure,
So
yeah.
I decided to write
I mean, I know I do.
a Jurassic Park erotic fiction about
Not your normal
about Robert
fan
Muldoon and a dinosaur
Good.
And
Velociraptor.
just getting it on.
Good.
So
It's
that's the
sounds
thing
good.
I did.
it's
Yeah.
a page turn.
So keep an eye out for that, everybody.
That's
All-
my next big thing.
When is that going to drop?
Yeah, when is that
You
out?
know, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Let's turn it into a short film.
Have you seen the? Have you guys seen the short film Fan Friction? You know who Rocket Jump is?
no.
Like,
No and no.
Freddie Wong.
You just keep saying things that I don't know anything about.
It's like the
saying words,
YouTube guy. Like he's Asian and he's like makes
Oh.
lots of money because he's.
Okay. Yeah.
I know about Asians
You're
and
digging
making
a
lots
hole.
of money, but
I'm surprised
That's as far as I'm
that you guys haven't heard of Freddie Wong.
Do you think I just hear of every millionaire Asian on YouTube?
Yeah, but like he's.
I mean, I'm pretty dialed into that. But
Have you ever heard of the show Video Game High School on
Yep.
YouTube?
Oh wait, did he make that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there
He
you
did.
go. Point
I've
of
never seen
contact.
it, but I know of it.
Okay.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
act like I know anything about that.
He's basically built this community of short film makers who upload to this. Well, they actually have a show on Hulu that has 8 episodes. Like Hulu gave them a deal to basically they gave them a budget to make the biggest short films they've ever made.
Well,
And-
wasn't Video Game High School on Hulu for a while, or
I think
probably
Netflix.
still is? Oh yeah,
Yeah, probably still is. But they made this one short thing called Fan Friction, and it's about these two girls who are writing this fan fiction together, and one of them is like this Sherlock Holmes guy, and another one's like a vampire, and one of them's just writing how they're battling, and the other one would take over the keyboard, and they start making out. These two just going at it, and it's like it reminds me of you, Raina.
Reminds you of me.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Sounds captivating, though. I'll have to check it out.
I'll have to send you guys
I
my
forget- I
erotic
forget-
fiction
Send it
sometime.
around. It's really good.
I honestly forget that this is being recorded.
Really?
Most of the
Well, you-
things we say.
You're sitting in a weird spot. Is that what it is? You're sitting.
No, every time.
Oh, just every time you forget. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's being recorded.
This is just the best way to communicate with a group of friends. I think.
That's right.
Yeah.
Headphones,
To record
microphones.
it. Once again, we're promoting just
It's-
the conversation that we're having.
Yeah,
So,
and it's so funny. It's so we're doing exactly the thing that I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
We're recording
Let's make
our
a podcast
conversation
just
because
criticizing.
our conversation
Right.
is so
You really
much
need
more
to
important.
know.
It's so important. You need to know what we're saying.
But think about this: instead of like looking at our phones and like texting and typing and
See-
to people, we're actually having conversations with each other,
Yeah.
and we're trying to get other people involved and interested in conversations about things. So I think it's genius. I think it's a great evolution of communication.
Yep.
You just can't
I
text
think-
that many people. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we.
Speaking
I
of
think
evolution, my Jurassic Park erotic
boom, bring it all back around.
Full circle,
all the way back.
full
Goes
circle
up,
to 5
up
minutes
and
ago.
down and around. All good things.
Well, we've been going for about an hour and 25, so I'm going to put a pin in it. Does that work for you, Joe? Do you got to say anything else?
Are we talking about the erotic fiction?
Yes, we're talking about that. What are you going to call it?
I
This will
don't.
close us
Jurassic
out
Park
with a genius
erotic
title.
fiction.
What are you going to call it?
I don't know yet. I haven't decided, but you can bring me back on the podcast and I'll read it for you guys.
Okay.
That sounds.
Let's do that, please.
Sounds hilarious.
Let's really do that.
Vagina raptors.
I feel like Jurassic Pork is the obvious answer.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
you know.
That's
Well, I did think of doing like a porn spin-off of The Office and call it The Orifice, but I found out that
It's
was an
already been
actual
done.
thing already.
Oh, that's a thing already?
Yeah.
I'm really upset.
Wow.
we
That's
can't.
sad.
We
It's too
can't
clever.
have good things
Those
anymore.
pornographers always get into the best ideas
No.
first, right? All right.
Porno
Sounds good
pirates.
to me. Good,
Yeah.
successful episode. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Thanks
Hey,
for having
It
us,
was
guys.
fun.
Yeah,
Everybody
for
go
having
follow their stuff on Instagram and all the social medias and
Yeah,
all
you
the
want to
website.
make sure you click on the notifications.
Click on the
so you're
notifications
notified
so that
every
you can-
time they post something.
Yeah, they're going to be posting
I
a
don't
lot
mind.
of sandwiches that they're
This
having.
is what's so
yeah.
like.
So
Every time someone posts something, you're notified. So like while you're in the middle, you get a notification. You have to click on it and then go like it. That sounds crazy.
That's.
Just go.
I'm gonna go immediately. Turn on notifications for La Bamba burritos.
Because
Get
Instagram
those burritos.
is like the perfect thing if you're sitting on the toilet and you just need to scroll. You hit like every like it's not a way of life. It's a way of passing the toilet time.
don't know why
Honestly, I want people to be more subjective about it and look at the pictures, and if they really like them, they should like them. I don't care if people turn on notifications on me or not. I want them to just see them, and if they really appreciate it, to give me that love.
No, listen.
That's how I want it to
I'm
be used.
digging your positivity and all this because I'm like super like cynical and like
You're angry.
yeah, and you're like yeah, it's cool. No, you guys are,
You're
and I'm
mad.
like our podcast sucks. Why are you listening? And you're like, no, I think this is a great evolution of
I really
human
enjoy doing
communication,
this.
and this is great.
I want everyone to go on Instagram at Raina Trimble and just block me. Block and delete.
Blocked.
All right, I'm gonna hit stop.
Good time, guys. We appreciate it.
Don't
Thanks
hit
for
it in
being
the
here.
middle of my sentence.
Thank you for listening, DNN.